It's a huge one to be.
This is all they get.
I'm like, not used to that. I'm like, okay, and we're supposed to.
She's real conservative.
I just hate this camera. What is so beautiful? It's a little
Doesn't strike me as a
what I had is what I wanted. Have it any other way. And I wouldn't either. I mean, I can't believe it's here.
Yes.
This is my grandmother, Aunt Elsa, Aunt Debbie, Uncle Larry, Dad, whole family. You're all right here. All the children are here. All four. Where's Sandra? Sandra's missing. Sandra, Sandra, come right here. Clint. Here's Aunt Sandra. We're all right here. We all made it. Here's Clint. Just excuse me. Oh, I'm out. Oh, get you and all the you and all your
Yeah, all the kids.
Here, Sandra.
There they are. Larry, get in. That's good. That's real good.
After all these years.
I don't get all four of them together.
I drove in just for you. You'll be in behind about 8:30.
Okay, good. I know. Dad. No, Dad's mad. Dad, he's so bad. I'm like, oh no! He was like sweating all nervous. Jennifer and Kristen, I saw you sit back there. I'm like, I know that must be your wife.
He was very upset with me. Normally I do that kind of
Take care of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cannot remember the name. They're good. 1, 2.
Is that anything like the FID?
Want to do the 4 of y'all?
Yes. You want the guys to get up? Or?
No, I can do
Miss Stanley close. 2 times.
Is Randy in the picture?
Yeah, Randy's in. Once again.
Well, all right, go man. Just a minute. It's okay. But anyway, I'm Don Phil.
You've been in town like 3
you tonight, and on behalf of my wife and myself, we welcome everyone tonight, and glad that you're here, and appreciate you coming. Want you to have a good time and a relaxing time. If there's anything we can do to make you more comfortable, just let us know. Get to know those at your table. There's a camera on each table. If someone take plenty of pictures, if you would. Someone pass the camera around and take pictures during the evening. We'd certainly appreciate that. At this time, I would like to ask Dr. Tom Harrison if he would lead us in a blessing.
Let us pray together. Our gracious Heavenly Father, how we thank you for this joyous occasion. And Father, how we're so thankful for the Bernards' hospitality tonight. Father, that they would invite us to this great occasion. And so, Father, we celebrate with them. Thank you for the provision of this meal that we're about to partake of. Lord, bless it to strengthen our bodies. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Kristen's on bed.
Every time the camera comes on, I'll start waving.
Okay, I think about it. Don't worry about it. Bad hand, that's bad. Just not worry about it. Try. I did it earlier. There. No? Okay. I have camera issues.
Yeah, we're going to be
And you renew it every year. That's why I don't know if you can buy it. I think you can buy it like right now. So you have to buy it within a certain amount of time after you purchase the home.
Probably has to be inspected involved with it.
I think we should talk about some more. Another 20 minutes? I'm going to be there at 8. Got it. How are Jay and Don?
new grandbaby.
That's what it takes know they got some money stashed away somewhere, like in
I had that money, that fund that I think they have, and was looking at what they're looking at. I'd be fine.
why not? Why would you accept
I don't like long time.
You never ate me, and I was like, well, just see what happens after I have some diligence and try to
So she's still, you're supposed to. It's my trademark. It's my trademark. I'm not gonna go. That's not it's the Marilyn Monroe dress.
Hey now, let's love that.
Congratulations, Kristen and Ronnie. Oh, goodness, she's
Don't keep doing it.
I'm very nervous.
You'll have that.
Again, welcome everyone. Appreciate all of you coming and enjoy visiting with you. Just a few introductions in addition to our main honorees, the bride and the groom, Kristen's parents, Randy and Donna Brazil, are here. Grandparents, several of the grandparents are here tonight. Miss Marlene Brazil sitting over here. Glenda's mother, Miss Sally Epperson, sitting right over here. And my father, Spencer Bernard Sr., sitting right back here. So we appreciate the parents, grandparents, and we appreciate all those who traveled to get here. Many came from out of town, and we certainly appreciate your special effort to be here from out of town. I'll ask the bride and groom to introduce the wedding party.
I'll go
Kristen, go first, please.
I just want to say thank y'all all for such a beautiful evening and being a part of my special day. This is really an overwhelming moment for me. I've been in lots of weddings, they always say, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and it's actually my day, and I don't know what to say, it's one of those moments that you're happy, but I want to introduce my two maids of honor, Elena Arcos and Nancy Ann Tharp. Thank you very much. I'd also like to mention my other high school friends, Carolyn Bickham and Alice Hart. I also have some college buddies, Anna Burke and Mandy Cloud. And I also have some law school friends, Reagan Summerlin, she's getting married in November, Molly Balfour, and did I forget anybody else? No, did I leave anybody out? Alice, did I say Alice Hart? Alice Hart! Alice Hart! Better known as Hot Tub. Alice Sample, she just got married. I also have 4 special ladies in the house party, and they are Paige Israel, Paige Hoffpower, Emily Alton, and Allison Bronner. And I appreciate every single one of you for being here. And the Bernanke children, Linda and Emily, are my flower girls who are going to be freshmen. Emily and Nikki, what did I say? Linda. Oh, Linda. I'm nervous. I mean, that's okay. Emily and Nikki are my little flower girls, and thank you very much. It's nervous when you're on the spot to call all these names.
That's really good.
Especially with the light, especially with Channel 3 here.
I, like Kristen, would also like to thank you all for coming, and it really does mean a lot when you see friends from high school and college and friends from work, and to come to be a part of a special time in our lives. Let's see, where do I start? Over here, Mike Oswald. We went to school together in Fayetteville. Jeff Burnside. We've been friends since high school. Collier Thornton. We've been friends since grade school. Stephen Babcock. Roberts Lee. Roberts and I have been, Roberts is real special to me, and he's done a lot to me. And I'm glad you're here. Robert Heath, Dozier, Nathan. Nathan and I went to school in Fayetteville together. Brandon, my brother.
Okay. And this one?
We got coaching.
And my dad, who's my best man in more ways than one.
A fellow in our office was telling me last week how it was his turn to do what I'm about to start here. Said, Spencer, I spent so much time planning what I was going to say. I got up and I couldn't say a word. And that caused me to try to plan what I was going to say so that I could indeed say it. There's so many emotions and so many things that I could say and think about that would leave me speechless, that I'll know that you'll understand that those things exist just like they do in your lives. It's been such a pleasure over the last year or so getting to know Randy and Donna and Kristen and the entire family. It's just been a joy getting to know them, and we're looking forward to the melding of the families in many, many ways, and we're looking forward to that. And thinking of Kristen and Brian, I guess the thing that kind of became my focus as I thought about their union is very simply just that they're just a wonderful, well-suited couple. They have so many things in common. They're both well-educated. They're both goal-oriented. They both kind of dance to their own drummer, which is a good thing. They're nice-looking.
You know you're hot. Y'all are hot.
That's the thing.
That's coming to yourself.
Probably the thing that struck me the deepest was the fact that of the similarities in the families and in their heritage. All families a difference, but there's such a similarity here that's so significant in my heart and mind, and that is that they both came from a family where there's a heritage of longevity in the marital relationship. I think Randy and Donna have been married like 37 years. Glenn and I have been married 34 years. I'm not very good with numbers, but I think that's a total of 71 years of longevity in matrimony. I just think that's such a heritage that a couple like the two of you can hang on to and look to. You've witnessed throughout your lives mothers and fathers that were thought I wasn't going to do this. Not only committed totally to one another, but probably more importantly, totally committed to the God-ordained institution of marriage. And to have lived in that environment, I think, is a heritage that you can hang on to. And so I would propose that we stand and toast in wishing them well a long time in the future in their lives and their marriage.
He added one to it, but that's okay.
Well, we wondered about that. We thought we were close. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. We were close
I wish y'all the best of luck, and Brian, welcome to the family.
Here, here.
Cheers.
This is what I've always wanted, is a spotlight right here in the middle of the room. Remember what I told you? What'd you tell me?
Got your mom.
You know, when I first left the University of Arkansas, which was a long time ago, I walked into my accounting class in Baton Rouge. And by the way, I left Arkansas to get my life straight and grow up. So I went to LSU. There was a guy in there named Brian Bernard, and he had on his shirt that said, "Go Hogs, go." And I had to walk down there because I can't keep my mouth shut very long anyway.
That's bad.
And I had to walk down there and introduce myself to him, and I walked up to him and I said, "My name is Robert Lee, and I went to the University of Arkansas." And he said, "I did too." And he said, "What'd you do up there?" And I said, "I'm really not sure." He said, "Neither am I." And we were instant friends. And I went to my calculus class, and Brian was sitting in my calculus class. And I went to my next class, and Brian was in my next class. And I've never, it was just fate that we had met. I went to school across town at Southwood. We never knew each other. And it was just amazing that we both left Shreveport, went to Arkansas, and became absolutely best friends. And we met at a time when we both had a tremendous amount of growing up to do. And we were both lost, and we found each other.
And we, I mean, really, believe it, boy, that don't sound good.
What you did is you did
Y'all are gonna stop my toes, but really, we were both a couple of guys that were trying to figure out what in the world we wanted out of life, and we were able to both kind of help each other through the tough times and get it together. And I can tell you that I found my way and found my wife, Tammy, best thing that's ever happened to me. And I can tell you that I know that when Brian met Kristen, that it was a very special day for him, and it was a special day for me too, because there were times when we both sat there and just said, man, what the hell are we going to do? Because I was selling vacuum cleaners and I don't know what Brian was doing. It was kind of a bad deal. Anyway, we both come a long way. I mean, Brian, I can't tell you how proud I am of you and all of the great times that we've experienced together. And I love you. And I wish you guys both every happiness in the world, and I know you'll have it.
Thank you, Roberts.
These lost our little something. First of all, I'd like to propose a toast to the Brazils and the Bernacki's because longevity of your Bernards. Bernacki, I can hear Bernacki all day. I apologize. You're nervous. You know?
I hear you.
I hear her so much, like it's very close to home. Anyway, let me move it on. The longevity of your faith in one another, your faith in God, your faith in love, your faith in family, has and is providing the faith that they're going to have in their own relationship. And that's a toast to you. Moving on. Well, Reagan and I have a little something together, for you, but I would like to say this. When I first heard about Brian, it was this scenario wherein Kristen told me that she had met this amazing man in a bar. And of course, everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's so amazing. What's the story here? Well, time went on, and I started hearing about his comfort and his love to not just Kristen, but to Kristen's friends. And so he had been built up to such an extreme. When I finally met him, I thought, no, he's not going to be all that. And then he approached me, and the very first words out of Brian's mouth, I kid you not, were, I love her. I love her so much, Elena, I cannot tell you. He didn't know me. He made a fool out of himself according to a man's point of view, And it touched my heart so deeply. And what I would like to say is this. This moment that you have here now, remember this moment. And as you go forward in the future, look back and know in the future, today, you love each other the least. Because you have 20, 30, 40 more years to go. And just imagine how much more love is going to grow. So cheers to you. And to your love.
I love you.
And your dedication to each other.
I love you.
Now, Brian, I would like you, please, to take Kristen's hand. Okay? Take her hand. Now, put your hand on top of her hand.
I'll follow along.
This is the last time that you have the upper hand.
Cheers to that! I like your cheers. Thank you very much. She's spoken like a true lawyer.
Okay, Brian, can you come up here and join us, please? Our toast is fun. If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. There's no upper hand business. I solemnly swear to fully comply
I wouldn't do it. Guess that's why I'm saying.
Now recite. With the following?
With the following rules, we will now recite.
Okay.
My vowels are a lot
Yeah.
easier, Brian.
I will either cook, order, or make dinner reservations at least 5 nights a week. We got your back, sister. Or when Kristen has a headache or a stomach ache or a bad day at work, I'll make her dinner.
Okay.
I will not limit the amount of clothes, shoes, or jewelry that she buys.
Watch out for that last one. This toast.
And I will say, I love what you're wearing to every outfit that she buys.
I love what you're wearing.
And you look good.
This isn't a
Run.
it's her money. It's her money. Your money is her money.
I will buy Kristen an expensive yet meaningful gift for the following holidays. Her birthday, her half birthday, our anniversary, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, or even President's Day.
I will send our daughters to Camp Waldemar and encourage them to be coyotes.
Okay. Oh, thank you. This is the best. I will allow Kristen to talk on the phone with her friends as long as she wants. Long distance. Okay.
But most of all, I will always love her and care for her as much as I do tonight. Now that's him talking, not me.
Here's to Kristen and
So
Brian.
anyway, raise your glass.
Cheers. Cheers.
Brian, do this.
Y'all, that's a tough group to follow, those Freeport girls, but I'm just Somebody suggested that I give Kristen and Brian newlywed advice, but I am probably the least likely person to have any advice to give you two, other than I think this is the best thing you both are doing. And I have to tell y'all that going on what Mr. Bernard said, I think these two are like 2 pages of a book. Coming together, joining 2 amazing families on an amazing night and an incredible weekend for what's going to be a wonderful journey for these 2 kids. And I have to tell you, I'm lucky enough to have Kristen as a friend and a sister. I'm even luckier to have a husband who has Brian as a friend and a golf partner. Out of my hair on the weekends. Thank God for Brian. And cheers to these 2 kids. Cheers, salute, love y'all. Love you, Mom and Kelly.
All right, here we go. I've already drank my champagne. But I've always called Kristen Red. I've never called her by her name.
It's always red.
Always Red. But I wish Brian and Kristen many, many years of happiness, and I'll still call you Little Red.
Thank you.
Wouldn't have any other way. Cheers.
Most of you don't know me. My name is Mike, and I went to school at Bryant University of Arkansas. Much like Robert said, I was a little bit lost in school at that time too, but I didn't have as much luck as Robert did to turn him around. He went back to LSU.
God's country.
I have to go with them, I'll go Hogs, but anyway, I'll know their stories. Brian called me up one night, and he talked to me. He said, "You won't believe it. I've met the one." I said, I don't. And as most of you know Brian, you've probably heard him tell a few tales. So I talked to him again. "So you still found the one, you think, huh?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." I came out, and I met Kristen yesterday, or actually 2 days ago. And I saw the way Brian looked at her, and it's true. He's met the one, and I'm so happy for you. congratulations, and just glad I could make the trip.
Thank
And
you.
thanks for making me a
Glad
part
you're
of it.
here.
Thank you.
I've known, actually, I've probably known both of them, 20 plus years, and I never, it's funny how you know both of them, but you never ever put the two of them together, but it's been neat. Brian and I have gotten to be good friends over the last few years, several years, and I've gotten to meet all his friends, and it really has been it's been a neat experience. And I remember Brian came home one day. We were talking one day at work, and he said, I met this girl this weekend. He said, Kristen Brazil. He said, what do you think about her? I said, well, Brian, is she gonna let you call her again? I said, did she blow you off? I said, do you have a shot with her? And he said, well, I think so. I think I can, call her again. I said, well, let me, take my advice. I said, definitely call her again. I said, she's a wonderful girl, and I said, I think, it'll end up being a wonderful marriage. But I can tell you this, I'm the one guy most guys, whenever you get married, tell you the horror stories. And I said, I'd be the one guy, I met the one of my dreams. And being married to your best friend is the greatest thing you can ever do. And I will say this, if you treat each other as you would treat yourself, then you'll be married for a long, long time and be very, very happy. So I think this is wonderful, and I want to wish you the best. Thank you.
You go.
It's my turn. Hurry, hurry. You can sit in more pressure. Kristen, first of all, I want to let you know how honored I am to be in your wedding. For some of y'all that don't know this, Kristen and I have been running buddies since we practically came out of the womb. We did all of our family vacations together, and I mean, honestly, most of all my childhood, my fondest memories are spending time with the Brazils in Florida. And it's funny because I was talking to Andy and I was like, gosh, we've just grown up together and done everything. And the first thing that came out of his mouth, Kristen, was, look, honey, a deer. Only we would get that one. It's just kind of an inside joke, but it just made me think back of all the fun we had. I was just like, oh my God. But it's funny, like Collier said, I've known Kristen forever, and started, I guess, junior high with Brian, and I used to play tennis with Brian. And we played mixed doubles together, and it's just so neat. When I actually ran into Miss Brazil, and she said, Kristen's met somebody, and he's from Shreveport, and just how she was talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it, right off the bat that this was the one, and I just think it's great. So, Brian, take good care of my sister, because that's what she is to me.
Thank you, Carolyn. I love you, Carolyn. Congratulations.
Elena and I were actually going to do like a together toast, but she's so well with words, so I'm going to have to do it now on my own. Which is fine. I don't mind it. Maybe she'll actually let me get my toast out at this point. We did the husband a couple times, but I've heard a lot tonight about, Brian being in school and having to find his way, and I went to law school at LSU with Kristen, and I think it's for a few of her friends that she would have also been lost. She didn't have a few of us to help her find her way. Some of us are a little bit more nerdy than others. I know some of you might be lawyers and some of you might not, but some of us go like head on right when you start class, and you do these outlines, and you work pretty much day in and day out, and
No, only you, honey.
no, it was not only me. It was not only me. I have two. So when I became friends with Kristen, it seemed like I would call her and be like, hey, we're studying at Highland Coffee House. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to Superior to drink margaritas. A couple weeks down the road, hey, we're studying with us. We're going to the library. oh no, there's a game on TV and Steve Babcock's coming over, we're having like a big cookout, you can come over after. I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna study. So I always knew every semester, right at the kind of crunch time, there would be Kristen in her hat, pulled down really far, same outfit for about 2 weeks going, I'm freaking. And well put together outlines were sent right over to her. She did great in school, and I knew she could do it on her own, but I was glad to be there to help. And she's done such a great job, and she's an excellent lawyer, and she's an excellent friend, and it's been so nice getting to know you as well, Brian, and the Brazils and the Bernards. Thank you so much for having me be a part of this weekend. It's just been great, and it's been great getting to know everybody else, and just cheers to you both. Hope y'all have a wonderful life together.
That is an easy segue, because on our way over here, we were talking about Red's habits, and it was easy. We were talking about Red freaking out. Yeah, we said, would she wear the same clothes for days on end? Yes, she would wear the same clothes for days on end. Talk about how she was freaking out.
It's really not that
But my name is Mandy Cloud, and I went to college with Red and was Chi Omega with Red.
And I'm Anna Burke, and we're both sorority sisters from TCU.
And as we were driving over from Dallas yesterday, we could fill easily a 3, 4, 5 hour car ride with thoughts about Red, stories about Red, things that made us laugh the whole way over. And as we were even trying to put our stuff together, we said, we have to condense this so we don't go on forever. So we'll start with a poem, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. When you got to Fort Worth, you quickly became known, to your mother's horror, as Red.
For Kyle, you scored on the field and the court, but the thing that you loved the most was your bed.
In Colby, which was the freshman dorm, you'd hide for hours on end in your room with no trace of the sun.
But if cocktails were mentioned, you'd always get up for a chance to grab us some fun.
You were often the butt of our jokes and our pranks. We took our roommate role seriously.
And we could always make you get red and splotchy as you yelled at us quite deliriously.
There are too many times to recall in one night, as you kept us laughing for years.
But here are a few of our favorites to share because we hold you so dear.
Motorhomes, Mardi Gras movies, and mixers.
Cold Chinese food, any food that we fix her.
I'm like a dude. This is why I speech because I'm dying.
Dancing routines in your room late at night. Sneaking around corners to give you a fright.
Stealing your towel, short-sheeting your bed. As you can see, there's so much to be said.
And we'll start off with a story about one of our favorite pranks that we would play on Red was every time she went to take a shower, one of us would steal her towel. And Red was
not come out. I ripped off the door.
She is extremely modest, so one of the many times that we've stolen her towel, we hear her first yelling at us, and then the next thing we hear is kind of a creaking. And it was one of those crank paper towel holders. And it's going, and the next thing we know, she has wrapped her entire body in paper towel. Walking down the hallway.
I'm like, can't get me there, girls.
So you have like 30 minutes. Yeah, but we felt like Brian might need some tips on how to best live with Red. So there were some things that came to mind. Number one, we all know that she loves to sleep. And when you love to sleep, you often are in a hurry and running late. So some things to kind of get her out the door fast, to kind of just help her apply that powder fast, get her hair in shape real fast. Brian, just go ahead and put some baby powder in her hair dryer so that when she turns that on, it just comes blasting out at her. That was always a good one for her. The other thing that you can do so that she can kind of moisturize on the go is to coat her flip-flops in Vaseline. When she steps in, she can just slide and go real fast and moisturize. Another one of her favorites, she has kind of sensitive teeth. And so if you can help her out by applying some Orajel when she doesn't know it, so that as she brushes her teeth, it kind of numbs that whole area. That's always good. That's one of her favorites. And the other thing that she loves, she loves sleep, but sleepy time. She has kind of interesting ways of going about it. She likes a real lumpy mattress, so when you have a chance, slide some hangers, books, that kind of thing, right up under the mattress pad so that when she climbs in bed, it's good and lumpy for her. So that's another one of her favorites. And then
We're real close. We're real tight. Tight group.
to top it off, to kind of help her keep her circulation going, keep her looking flush all the time, she loves to be scared and surprised. So hide around corners, that kind of thing, and jump out at her when she doesn't expect it. She loves that.
Well, obviously, we play a lot of jokes on Red over the years, and we've loved her for a really long time. And all the memories that we've had and how much she's made us laugh over the years, but we're so thankful to be involved in this weekend. And, you know, as a lot of her girlfriends know, she's had a couple misadventures in dating, but, you know, we now know that she's found the right one. And, you know, she's found who we knew she needed all along, and it was someone just like Randy.
I'll take that as a compliment.
That was a total compliment, right? Because we were calm and collected and funny and have a great sense of humor and are so kind, and we're just glad that you're going to be part of our family and friends. So, congratulations.
Well, first I would really like to thank the Bernards for hosting the deal tonight, and Linda and Spencer, we really appreciate it very much. Everyone has heard, I think, and understood how special Kristen is, and she's always been very special to her mother and I. And she's always made us very proud, whether it was playing basketball or her schoolwork, being the president of her sorority, and all the things accomplishments that she made in law school. She's just always been a person who strived to do her best. And of course, growing up in our family, it was kind of hard sometimes to live up to the expectations of her mother, but somehow we all seem to survive that. And you know, when the first time it came up about marriage, and everybody's told this story tonight, that some of the things that Kristen said, I told Donna, I said, honey, I think this is the one. And she said, oh no, you know, we've been down that road before. And I said, no, it's different this time. And, but we really, I mean, we haven't known Brian for that long, even though everybody we know in Shreveport knows the Bernards. It's just been unbelievable. You know, we'll say something to someone, oh yeah, we know that family. And they grew up in the same, at the same time, and it's just amazing that they never crossed paths. But we really love Brian. We wish them all the happiness in the world. I think with the families that you have to build on, just like Spencer said, will really mean a lot to you, and we're just proud for you.
Thank you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy.
For those of you that do not know me, I'm Brandon. Brian and I are brothers. And several months ago, my wife and I, Amy, were coming into New Orleans, flying into New Orleans, and Brian volunteered to pick us up there. He said, I want to take you all up to the airport and take you to get a bite to eat and have some good Cajun food while you're in town in New Orleans. He said, I also want to bring my girlfriend along if that's all right, and so we can all have dinner together. And so I said, well, tell me about this person. He said, in fact, you might actually know her. I said, really? He said, so he mentioned Kristen's name, and I said, Kristen Brazil, I just didn't ring a bell. And then he mentioned where she'd gone to school, said she was from Shreveport and all of this stuff. He gave us the whole rundown. And he said, in fact, she used to play tennis when we were young. And you may remember her from the tennis days, because Brian and I grew up playing a lot of tennis together. And that didn't ring a bell, and then he mentioned her hair color. He said, she's a redheaded girl. I said, well, I remember someone that was, when we were young, a little redheaded girl who played tennis, played doubles a lot of them. And And then sure enough, when Amy and I got to talking, Amy said that she had remembered Kristen from when they were in the choir group together at some time. Well, it wasn't until we got together here in New Orleans that we actually really got to meet Kristen for the real first time and get to see she and Brian together. And just as it's already been alluded to, the similarities between them in their personality and their interests, Amy and I on countless occasions since then have said they've just really gelled together as a couple. And Kristen, welcome to the family. We're so excited for the both of you, and congratulations so to Kristen and Brian.
I'll make this really brief. I've known Brian, and I've known Brian for a long time. Pretty much since I moved to Shreveport in the mid-'80s. I forgot exactly when. Just getting old. And I could tell you lots of very, very humorous, at least they're very humorous to me, Brian stories. I've known the Bernards for a very long time. Wonderful, wonderful people. I've enjoyed over the last couple of days meeting the Brazils and Kristen. But I just want to tell you really quickly how I found out that this was the one. And it wasn't from Brian. My wife and I live in the Washington, D.C. area and don't get to make it home that much. So I was talking with my mom one night, and she said, "Jeff, Bones just came over." For those of you that don't know, Brian is Bones in my house, and that's a long story. And he has a girlfriend. And so I all of a sudden got very interested. And so Mom was explaining the situation, but she ended the conversation by saying, "He just looks happy." And for me, that was it. I didn't need to know anymore. I think it was a couple of days later I talked to Brian, and Brian told me about Kristen. And you could tell that not only did he look happy, but he sounded happy, and he was happy. And so just, Brian, I love you to death. The Bernards, I just wish you the best of luck. And Kristen, you're very lucky.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I guess I want to say in closing to Brian, I just really wanted to express some things to Brian. That I love you so much. I'm so happy today with all my friends, and that this is just really one of the most magical moments of my life. And I'm happy to have found my partner and my soulmate and my friend, and that I love you with all my heart.
Shall we close with that?
Yeah.
Any final words from anyone? All right. We again appreciate your presence here tonight. Appreciate your participation, and we'll all look forward to a wonderful day tomorrow.
All we got to do now is walk down the aisle.